Dun-dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun-dun. We got to figure out an intro to the podcast. I'm thinking Sports Center style. Every time you hear Sports Center, you know it's Sports Center because Sports Center has that traditional dun-dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun-dun. When you hear that, you know it's Sports Center. So what are we going to do for this podcast?
I was thinking more like WWE style. You know, it's all about the game. Huh? Bring some of that down.
And start it. I'm more
Little Motorhead?
I'm more D-Generation X. You know,
I got
suck it.
that's what I'm saying, man. That's Triple H, so we're good.
That's crazy. But this is the first pilot episode of the Traditional Chopper podcast. It is literally the greatest pilot since the Fox Force 5.
Ooh.
If you remember what the Fox Force 5 was.
I know who the Fab Five is. No. Fab Four. Fab Four.
If you ever seen Pulp Fiction,
when you know who the Fab Four is?
Yes.
Where are they from?
Michigan.
Oh, okay. Just checking.
But in Pulp Fiction, when John Travolta takes Uma Thurman out, and Uma Thurman talks about she was in a pilot, and the whole time they're at the place, he's trying to figure out the name of the pilot, and she says it's called the Fox Force 5, because they were.
It's been a while since I've seen that movie.
They were foxy ladies. They were a force to be reckoned with, and there was 5 of them. But the pilot never made it past the pilot. So if we make it past the pilot episode, we're winning here.
Yeah.
So again, this is the first pilot of the Traditional Chopper podcast. And before we go any further, let's tell the audience what Traditional Chopper is.
Well, first we need to introduce ourselves. I'm Ron Harris. I'm the owner of Traditional Chopper magazine and Chop Docs Choppers. This is...
I'm the pirate, a.k.a. Popeye.
A.k.a. There's a lot of aliases.
Aliases.
This is my dude, Ben.
Call me the pirate. Anything with cheap whiskey keeps me going.
He loves cheap whiskey. It makes him feel warm and fuzzy inside.
Obviously. So what is Traditional Chopper?
So Traditional Chopper is a magazine. It took me 3 years to actually get it to print. It's based on, garage built, barn finds, core choppers, man, core stuff that's not all glitz and glamour. Some's killer fabrication work. It's a different variety of what we're doing on this magazine. And honestly, I have a couple people that, along the way have helped me. My editor, Englishman, he jumped right on with me, man. He does the layout and does everything. And without him, this thing wouldn't have happened. We just printed our 4th issue. And in March is going to be our 1 year. And man, it's going good. It's just a different flavor for everybody. Everybody likes what they like, and, print media is tough right now, but it's a flavor, man, and everybody who's got it in their hands has liked it so far.
Yeah, I'm looking at the magazines, and I see different bikes.
Yep.
Like these remind me of traditional like choppers. Like when I think choppers, I look here, but this looks more like that Harley that I fell in love with the big wheel and the small front. I don't know the difference.
Yeah.
And then you got here with the dude with the long handlebars. So it really looks like a lot of custom work.
Yeah. Issue 3, Chris from Doomtown. It's his. This bike he built. He did this whole frame, made the whole I-beam frame, cut it out with a torch. I mean, I watched him build this whole frame by hand. It's a pan head. It's got these bitchin' wheels. It's got a lot of cool stuff to it. Everybody's like, oh, you shouldn't run that on the cover bar. It's this. And I'm like, you know what, man? If dudes look at this and can't respect the craftsmanship to win this thing and it being a panhead, fuck them. I mean, that's about it.
So that bike's built from scratch?
From scratch. Chris built the frame, everything. I watched him draw it out on a piece of sheet metal, cut it, and make all this stuff. He welded all the I-beam together, swing arm. He welded every stitch of that frame together. And if you see that thing and you look closely, it's badass.
Well, that's awesome. It gives motorcycles like that an outlet.
Yep.
So, it's awesome. Like I've been in a couple of the traditional chopper events, and you see a lot of cool ass bikes.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and it's not store bought.
No,
You know what I want to
no,
say?
man. These dudes, there's
Yeah.
some dudes that really, really kill it, man. I've had a lot of guys, man, that reached to me since we've done the magazine, and they dig it, man, because I don't care about going after the name brand people. I want the dudes out of their garage. I want the dudes that are, one man show, run a shop, and eat and live off this stuff. The dudes that drag these old 750 Hondas out that you haven't seen anymore. There's just so much good stuff out there that people haven't seen, and I want to reach to them and get it out here, man, because I love it. I love this stuff. I live and breathe this.
Yeah, well, the magazine's official, especially with these centerfolds you got in there.
Yep, yep. Every issue we do a centerfold, seem to pull out centerfold kind of like old Easy Rider used to do. We have a lot of different things we do. We have a Chop Father section there, which everyone goes and writes about, someone that they have learned from. I wrote in issue 1 about a guy named Clay Cobb. A lot of people don't know him, but Clay was like one of my mentors. He taught me so much about tuning and front ends and geometry, and he's just such a solid dude. He means so much and done so much for me, and he epitomized what a real biker is. The dude's rode a chopper, built his own springers, builds his own motors since before he went in Vietnam, and he still rides a rigid, and he's damn near halfway in his deathbed.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he's the best, man.
Yeah, I know, like, I don't ride a chopper, but I know the first time I rode a bike, like, I just fell in love. Like, I love riding bikes, and if I could build one, I'd love to build one. But the bikes in these
You know a
magazines
guy.
look amazing.
You know a guy.
I wish I knew a guy.
Oh, wow.
So what can the audience expect from this podcast?
Well, this podcast here, we're gonna bring a lot of people in. Majority of the people were people that we ran in the magazine, people that we're doing events and stuff with, that we're hosting with and stuff. We got JoJo from Giuseppe's, which we're gonna do our show in March with for Bike Week, which we do stuff with him every year. Man, our show there is amazing. You actually were there helping this year, working the booth and stuff, and the show was just a killer turnout. We have that. We have some stuff going on with Jeff Holt and Dave Rowe from V-Twin Visionary. We're going to let that out on the podcast, which is going to be huge. We also are going to talk about some stuff. We have another show in Detroit that we're putting together. That's me and Derek from Detroit and Bill Danforth. We're all working together on. That's going to be sick, super sick. And we're going to talk, a lot of builders. A lot of just regular, down-to-earth dudes who just love choppers, man.
Yeah, and I don't think enough people, like, the motorcycle community is huge.
Without a doubt.
And there's so many unsung heroes that are out there doing great work and may not get the publicity,
Oh, God.
right? Or just the credibility.
Yes.
Like when Picasso painted a painting, he got recognized, but there were so many other great painters, and it's the same when it comes to bike work, and it's, you can see from some of the bikes on here, they're all not built by the same person.
No.
There are different people on there, and they look amazing, and it's crazy because not all of them look flashy.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Some of them look like
they're ridden.
They're bikes.
Yeah, they're ridden. There's a lot of dudes. I mean, there's some guys, man. I know a lot of guys, man, that are just keep their head down and just bang out killer work. And, I respect that, and there's guys that are flashy and stuff. They do good work. They do great work and stuff. And it's each his own, whatever you guys want to do. I like the people who keep their head down and just bang out killer stuff and just let their work speak for themselves.
Yeah, always, right? Let the work speak for itself. And speaking of people who work on bikes, you've been working on bikes for a while. Yeah, right? So why don't you give the community a little bit about you?
Well, I started out with bikes. I originally am a body man painter by trade. My dad and my grandpa are body men and painters. And my dad both into motorcycles, and stuff, hot rods, race cars, all that stuff, blah, blah. And I was working, at the dealership at one time, and the chopper scene got crazy, started to get going. This, I think, was in 2002. And then all of a sudden, I got bit by the bug.
Was
And
that like when Orange City Choppers started like
yeah, it was a lot. It was like
popping?
when, yeah, but it was more like Indian Larry and Billy Lang, the biker build off stuff started happening. The
Hmm.
scene started getting really, really good again. A lot of cool stuff. I mean, there's so many good dudes out there that was around then. Some of them are still around. But man, I'm like, oh, dude, I gotta get into this, man. And it's like when you're restoring and doing cars, man. There's like a fine line you have to walk, or you're called a hack.
Hmm.
Well, with a motorcycle or the chopper, especially, there's no limit. You can do whatever you want and go wild and crazy, and everybody thinks it's badass. And so I got crazy. I called my buddy Boomer up. I said, dude, order me this frame. I want to do this, do that. Ordered me a Springer front end from Paco. I got all this stuff coming. So start building this bike. My buddy Terry, TG, he come in. He helped me, wrap it all up and stuff, man. And I built my first chopper. And I came down to Bike Week for the first time in '03, and I went to the Boardwalk show, and I took third place for this thing. And I mean, there was some badass bikes there. I didn't even think I was going to place. And that was it. I was bit. And I went, and I still, started the shop, was working out of my garage, going. And then 2008, when everything crashed, I went full time in the shop. I mean, I went full time, fabricating, obviously more, custom paint and
Hmm.
stuff like that. And I got 20 years in this industry now, man. So I've made it through the curve.
So what made you choose the name Chop Doc?
Well, it's funny. We're sitting there, everybody's making their names up back then, and stuff. And I'm like, oh yeah, Chopper Doctor. I'm like, well, wait a second. If you're gonna chop something, you might as well chop the name. So instead of Chopper Doctor, I went Chop Docs.
So Chop Docs is short for Chopper
You
Doctor.
got it.
So you're the doctor of the
That's
choppers.
what they say. At some point, sometimes.
Hey, I mean it's a catchy name, when it's
Right.
like Chop Docs, and then like even being in these events, like you started in Michigan,
Yep.
and then you brought the business down to Florida,
Yep.
right? And I've only been to like Bike Week in Florida, and I know it's really crazy around here during Bike Week. But what's the chopper scene like in Michigan?
The chopper scene was pretty good in Michigan. But, like I said, everything, got slow when everything crashed. It's like it never came back. There's still a lot of dudes I know up there, man, and I meet a lot of cool dudes since I started the magazine. They're doing cool stuff in Michigan, man, and it's, I go back, 3, 4 times a year, and it's cool, but the scene here, I mean, there's so many dudes that'll tell you, like, the chopper scene here, Bike Week, dude, this is where it's at. I don't care if you're on the West Coast, you come down here for Bike Week, all the chopper dudes are here. This place is jamming because there's a lot of cool bike events, a lot of cool chopper shows that are going on during Bike Week, and everybody wants to be a part of it.
That I have some things to say about Bike Week, but I'm gonna save that for a later segment of our show.
You just love the last resort.
So what's the motivation behind choppers? Like you started out doing cars, right? You said
Yep.
your dad and your granddaddy were into body restoration in cars. So what's the motivation behind choppers? Like I know you fell in love with it, but what keeps you going?
It's the creativity. You really just sit there and you could just sit. I could set a motor and trans on the table and look, and then something will just spike, and you start jiving, and there's really I build it in my head, and then I just kind of run with it. Not all the time it comes out great, but most of the time it comes out pretty much the way I want. And it's the creativity, man. Just lets you loose, and you can just, like I said, there is no wrong. I mean, you got people going, "Oh my God, that's stupid! I can't believe you did it." Well, I don't give a fuck. It's my bike. So I mean, it's in every other.
Yeah.
There's a lot of dudes say it too. I know a lot of builders like that. I don't care what you think. I build for myself. I don't build to impress everybody else.
That is true. Especially every bike has to fit the rider, right?
You bet.
So you got 4 magazines out so far.
Yep.
Or traditional chopper.
Yep.
A ton of bikes in here.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful bikes. How many of them are yours?
None.
You didn't do any of these bikes in any of these magazines?
I've done some paint work on a couple of them, but I haven't built any of the bikes that are in the magazine. Everybody else comes first. But I will have my panhead will be on the cover of the March issue.
Your panhead?
My panhead.
Your personal pan
My
pizza?
personal panhead, yeah.
Panhead. That's what's up. When did you first realize that you loved the choppers?
Like I
Like,
said, man, it when I got bit with it, when I built that first one, and I came down here and like I said, going to that show, being around a bunch of people, and like back home in Michigan, there was a lot of dudes are in it. Like I said, my buddy Boomer, buddy Terry, Mikey. I mean, there's so many dudes I knew that were cool in the chopper scene that did cool stuff, man. And just it was cool. It was different from the car scene because car dudes, man, they're different. And I'm gonna tell you, I was a car guy. I'm still kind of a car guy, but car dudes are different.
well, Detroit's Motor City.
Right, right.
So,
But and that's what a lot of stuff when I build my bikes as well. I have a friend of mine, Kurt. He's like, dude, I can always tell a bike that you built because you have some kind of car influence in it. You can tell, and it's kind of it's in me.
so it's infectious.
Yes.
But so, I just a question. Michigan seems like it would be a better place to ride a bike.
Hell no. You ride on Michigan roads, they're fucking terrible.
Well, I wouldn't know about the roads.
You
I'm
will.
just thinking about the weather. Like riding a bike in Florida in June sucks.
Yeah.
You stick to the sea. Like if you're not catching a breeze,
Well, Florida's like
it's a bad time.
Florida's like reverse of Michigan. So you ride through the summer months in Michigan because the weather's nice. You put your bike in the way in the winter. You ride through the winter months in Florida. Put your bike away in the summer.
I want to ride my bike year round.
I don't know what to tell you.
So where'd you come up with the name Traditional Chopper? Like where'd it come from?
I just sat there, man, and a lot of stuff, I was, traditional this, traditional that. And then you see some of these bikes, man, and a lot of it, inspiration came from like old 750 Honda choppers. When you see one, oh yeah, that's a traditional chopper. And, like an old BSA or an old Triumph or, old knucklehead that, raked out, stretched out, cool, just some 70s crazy shit. And it's like, yeah, that's a traditional, and that's the word everybody uses. It's traditional. Oh, it's traditional. So I'm like, well, Traditional Chopper Magazine. I'm like, it's got to work. It's got to be it.
But is there such thing as a traditional chopper?
Yes.
What would be a characteristic of a traditional chopper?
Chopped up, raked out, Springer front end.
So you couldn't get that from a factory?
Hell no. That's like you can't buy cool from a catalog.
So I can't go into a Harley dealership and say, give me a chopper.
No, you know where to go. You have an outlet.
All right, so tell me this. What is your favorite bike or dream bike? If you could have a bike, or if you already have a bike, or you've seen it, what is your favorite bike?
There's two bikes that are my all-time favorite bikes that, they're just the ones. The one Jesse James built, it's the Gold Digger. That bike, absolutely sick. Out of all his stuff, I like Jesse's stuff, I respect him, but that is the baddest bike I think he's ever built. That one for one. Number two, Ron Finch's Odin Axe. Ron's work, everybody's like, oh my God, this dude is like crazy. But that bike, I don't know what it is about that bike. Everybody's like, yeah, that thing's ugly. I was like, I don't know what it is. That bike is just cool as shit to me. And I respect Ron too, and Ron is a friend of mine. But that bike is it just has the it factor to me.
So those bikes,
two, that's it, man.
top of the list.
I got nothing else.
Not even one of your own bikes.
Well, my panhead's pretty. I mean, that's out of all the bikes I built, my panhead, like when you build a bike and you can stand back like, okay, I wouldn't change nothing. Mm-hmm. You did it right, because as guys know who are builders, or anybody that watches this or knows they're builders, use your own worst critic when you build a motorcycle. You are your worst. Can you sit there and go, God, I wish I'd done this, wish I'd done that. Afterwards you sit there, you walk around, but man, that bike is one I can honestly say. And it took me 17 years to get to that point to build something where I'm like, yeah, this is it. This, I wouldn't change nothing.
But that's crazy that you picked two other people's bikes before your own.
Oh, yeah.
You know, a lot of people get like heavy in the game, and it'd be like my shit don't stink.
Yeah.
Like my bike's number one. I got it. But a shout out to other bikes. It was Gold Digger and Olden's Axe.
Yep.
Okay. So when you're riding on your bike, right? What's your like your riding song? Like everybody's got a riding song, right?
Oh,
like there's that one song that
yeah.
when it comes on, you just feel like you're in the mood. So what's that one riding song for you?
It's the Bee Gees. Stay alive. Come on. You know it. You can feel it. Look, you're feeling it, ain't you?
The Bee Gees.
Seriously, dude, you're cranking out the Bee Gees, rolling on
the
the
Bee
road.
Gees, the
Yeah.
Bee Gees of all people.
I love the Bee Gees.
I have a story off podcast about the Bee Gees.
I love the Bee Gees.
That's cool.
1977, I had a Bee Gees record player. Just so you know. Till my dad smashed it 'cause he was pissed at me.
Hey, that's one hell of a writing song though. Like, you know, what's the Bon Jovi song, the real popular one?
Oh, there's a lot.
Living on a Prayer.
Yeah.
Like you start riding
you?
with that. No, not me.
Don't
but
lie to me.
but I got a lot of different songs that I like to ride to, but I just know that like you know, because I ride with a helmet. So you know, when that one song, like when a song kicks in and it just like it takes riding to another level. Like, I don't understand how people ride without music. Like, when I see guys and they're just like, you got the motorcycle running, it's like, rrr, 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 rrr. That's cool, but it's like, I'm riding there, I'm doing about $110, and when a song comes on that just gets me in the mood, it's just like, it's almost like you forget how fast you're going. Like, you're just, it's like Tron on one of those, like, bikes.
Yeah.
You're just like, going until you get pulled over by the cops.
Oh man, it's when you're riding a chopper. I mean, you get some songs in your head, but you're riding, man. It's the feel, it's the groove, it's the especially when you're on something that you built. It's like a whole different level, man. And it's and a lot of dudes I'm sure they can agree with me. It's like yeah.
Yeah, I
puff up
tell
at
you,
one point, like,
I tell
yeah.
you, like one, you always got to be comfortable on a bike, but it's when that song hits, and if that's the Bee Gees for you, more power to you.
I love the Bee Gees, bro.
So, do you have any crazy or funny stories about bikes? Maybe something that happened to you or something that you saw happen.
Man, a lot of crazy shit. It always involved alcohol.
That's not good.
I mean, dude, there's a lot. There's a lot. I mean, there used to be one thing comes to my head right now. Was a V-twin show that used to be in Cincy. We used to go every year, and man, it was the biggest freaking party, and I mean party. I mean, you were on a 3-day bender, and I mean, you go there to try to look at parts, but the next day after you were just so hungover, it hurt so bad. So we're there, man, and we're partying and shit. My buddy Shuby's there, my buddy Boomer's there, my buddy Mac, we're sitting there, and we buy beer down at the hotel at the bottom. We're like, all right, so we're gonna have coolers, so we put it in the sink and put ice in it. My buddy Shuby, he's known for getting drunk and puking on shit. So Boomer tells him, whatever you do, don't puke in the sink on the beer. Shuby gets so hammered, he gets all drunk, and I mean, we were out all night. We went across over in I think it's like Kentucky, to this party over there. They bust us back. We get in there, and he goes to the bedroom first. We're down grabbing something to eat. Lo and behold, puked all over the beer, puked all in the tub, puked everywhere but in the toilet.
That's horrible. Puked on the beer.
On the beer. In the sink.
That's disgusting.
In the bathtub.
That's
and missed the toilet.
That's called a party foul.
Yeah. Big foul.
Those are the type of situations that your first and last invite.
Oh.
You're not coming back. I'm sorry. That's crazy. So what would you like to see in the chopper community? Like something, obviously, the community isn't what it was anymore,
No,
right? Just like society's evolving. Like 20 years ago, if you would have told me a dude riding a chopper, I would have thought a dude with like a beard, a bunch of tats, fingerless gloves, a vest, maybe a beer belly,
Yeah.
on a big Harley, and
Yeah.
But you see that it's changed, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's changed.
The community is now everybody's involved. Like
Yeah.
you got old bikers, young bikers,
With a lot-
middle-aged bikers.
Yeah, there's a lot of dudes, man. Like, there's a lot of guys that make some products out for these younger cats, man. You know, they go buy a cheap Sportster, hardtail it, and rough it out, and they're riding a rigid, which really, helps, the community, man, which keeps it going, which I'm all about that. But yeah, a lot of it's changed, man. A lot of dudes I've seen a lot of guys come and go, but I've seen a lot of guys that still hang in there. But I mean, it's like, It used to be fun, but back in the day, man, it was like really competitive, like bad competitive. Like everybody had a bad taste in their mouth. They didn't give a shit. They're nice to you, stuck in the back. It was bad. It was bad. But it kind of, after you get so far into this industry, like I said, I got 20 years in it now, and it's like you don't hear the noise anymore. And, there's a lot of dudes. I mean, I'd like to see everybody obviously support each other. Go to every show, be a part of every show. Try to support every chopper scene that's going on, man. That's the thing. Support people. Because we're the last of it, man. Because these dudes, there's not many people still doing it. And, we want to keep it alive. I want to keep it alive. I want to keep printing this magazine. I love what I do. I live and breathe this, how I eat. And I just hope a lot of dudes can still feel that burning fire in your stomach, man, to keep it going, because there's times it's faded out, but I've always found my way back.
Yeah, and to me, like the chopper scene's kind of like a restaurant, right? The best food always comes from the little mom and pop spots,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like you could go to Chili's or Applebee's and you could get like a burger or some shit, but you want that good shit, you go hit Julio's on a corner, or Dan's Burgers, or First Turn.
That's like my buddy Jesse. He's in Ohio from Ryan. He builds out of his garage, and he had a customer who goes, "Oh, you do this out of your garage?" He just told me this the other day, and I'm like, "This dude can get down. I mean, Jesse can flat get down. A dude can weld. He's a killer builder. He's a killer fabricator." And it's like, it doesn't matter where you're. I don't care if you're in the middle of a field. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You don't have to have the glitz and glory shop, the shiny floor, and all that stuff, man. Because my shop's trashed all the time. I mean, that shop ain't nothing pretty.
Yeah, but
It's a shit show.
but again, that's where you get the best food, right?
Yeah, right.
Right, the
That's right.
dirty kitchen. As long as you ain't got no roaches.
The greasy spoon.
All right, so I want to play a little game with you, right? I got a couple like A and B conversations here, and I just want you to pick one. All right, we want to get the people viewing just a little bit of
Is this
insight.
the difference between a Cadillac and a Lincoln?
Maybe.
Oh, I know
Right?
a guy.
All right, so I'm just gonna go around these questions, and I just want you to let me know which one you would choose, right? So when it comes to a drink at a party, would you rather beer or twisted tea?
Probably Twisted Tea.
Okay.
I had to support you, Bill, so
Shout out to Twisted Tea, right?
that's it.
When it comes to a motorcycle motor, panhead or shovel head?
It's got to be Pan.
Got it. When it comes to a traditional chopper, Harley or Triumph?
Ooh, that's a hard one. I like both.
Gotta pick one.
I'm going out. I'm going Triumph.
Triumph. Gotcha. When you're riding on a bike, helmet or no helmet?
No helmet.
When you're building a bike, you building it for speed or for style?
Oh, it's all about the style.
In the future, when we get our thing, and you're riding a bike, gas or electric?
There's not even. That's crazy. Do they make electric motorcycles?
They do.
Not in my world. So it's a gas. Drink gas, haul ass.
When it comes to a great bike, built from scratch or factory altered?
Oh, we gotta build it from scratch.
Jockey shift or foot shift?
Oh, it's jockey all day.
Front brakes or no front brakes?
No front brakes with
And-
that jockey shift.
And tying that in, front fender or no front fender?
No front fender.
Okay.
Wrap the bandana around it, call it love.
80s rock or 90s rock?
Oh, it's got to be 80 all day.
Smashing Pumpkins or Aerosmith?
Aerosmith.
Journey or Kiss?
Kiss.
Okay. We got you here. We're going to keep going. Rigid or swing arm?
Oh, rigid all day.
Sissy bar or no sissy bar?
No sissy bar because tank ride.
What is a tank ride?
So Ben doesn't know what a tank ride is. So what a tank ride is, so when you got your old lady and a sissy bar, you lay her on her back on your gas tank. She got her legs around you and you're riding. You can call it riding dirty. You can call it what you want. That's called tank riding.
And that wasn't the craziest thing you could think of when I asked you for a crazy chopper story?
No, because that happens all the time. Every motorcycle event you
I've
go
never
to.
seen it happen in my life.
I'll take you to Flowerville.
All right, here we go, right? Springer or tube front end?
Springer.
Belt or chain?
Chain.
Leather chaps or jeans?
Jeans.
I threw that one in there.
Did you do that or Jim?
I did that.
Ugh.
Drag bars or pullbacks?
6-band pullbacks.
All right. Matte or candy paint?
That's going to be candy because I make more money.
Gotta be a businessman, right?
Hey, hey.
All right, so when you're riding, winding roads or straightaways?
I like straight.
Okay. When you got a bike and you're riding, touring or cruiser?
Oh, it's got to be a cruiser.
Okay. Now here are the fun ones,
Oh, boy.
right? Carmen Electra or Pam Anderson?
Oh, Pam Anderson all day.
Why?
Wait a second. Hold on. Let me make that. Pam now or Pam, like, or both?
In their primes.
Both in
In their
Baywatch?
primes.
In their Baywatch?
In their primes.
Baywatch? Ah, Pam.
Okay. Hugh Hefner or Warren Buffett?
Oh, Hugh Hefner. The man.
Okay. Lincoln or Cadillac?
I'm going Cadillac because I don't want to get burned to the ground.
Cabbage Patch or the Iron Horse?
Oh, I know this is Jim. I'm going to go Iron Horse.
And the last one. Laces in or laces out?
Laces out.
Always.
Always.
Ray Finkel, baby. All right, so let's just brush on a topic because I want to talk about this because like I'm not in the chopper scene, but I am.
You are now.
I am an avid biker, right? Like, and I would say biker. Like, I like to ride my bike. So I want to talk about bike etiquette and rules when it comes to like riding a bike and what's expected. So nobody taught me a bike. So I got on a bike one day and I rode and I just learned to ride on my own. Well, I rode past somebody one day and they kind of flicked their finger to me like this. And I was like, what is he doing? And then somebody told me that that's, you know, somebody signaling you to say, hey, what's up? And didn't do it back. So I ride a Kawasaki ZX6R. And normally, when I ride my bike and I pass another biker, if I'm able to, I drop a signal. They always drop back. Almost always drop back. But during bike week, when I'm riding and there are bikers that come past me and I drop a signal to them, they don't do shit. So, like, is this a Florida thing where it's like you signal to other bikers, or is it like? And I know it especially doesn't happen when like I pass cruisers, choppers, motorcycles of that type of sort. Because even during bike week, if I pass a Suzuki or a Honda CBR, they'll still throw the signal back to me regardless. But it's like bikers don't signal me on it. Like, is it my bike that has an issue? Is it what tell me, like, what is considered etiquette when you're passing another biker on the street?
I don't know. Them dudes do that shit to me, man. And I mean, I'm on my Harley and stuff, and I don't care to signal back. And I mean, it's in every state, it's everywhere. But the thing is weird. It's like I didn't really notice it till like, you know, like mid 2000s. But I mean, back when I was growing up and stuff, my dad always had Corvettes and stuff. Now that back then it was a Corvette thing, man. Everybody waved, you know, if they had a Corvette. That was just the whole thing in the 70s, the 80s. I mean, it's still to this day, the Corvette people still do it. But then the Jeep people picked it up. Then they call them rubs, rich urban bikers. So they got to do the wave. And it's changed into that.
Rich urban bikers. What's a rich urban biker?
Rub.
Is that like a guy who has a job, but then like on the weekends he wants to pretend he's a biker? Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's kind of, I don't know. I don't really wave at people. I just keep riding.
Because like when you say that, it makes sense, right? Like the Jeep community is big, right? Everybody's got a Jeep. they don't really care what type of Jeep you have as long as it's a Jeep.
But like I said, it started out with the Corvette people, man.
But why am I not accepted amongst the Harleys and the Triumphs when you know, like, I feel like it should be the bike community regardless. If you're on two wheels, you're on two wheels, right? Like our man Bone said. Bone said, I don't care what you ride as long as it's on two wheels, right?
I'm the same way, man. You got the wind in your hair, you're going. I don't care what you ride. What I prefer to ride, what you prefer to ride, I don't care. It doesn't matter, man. You're burning gas, that's it. As long as you ain't riding electric.
So what's some etiquette like people should follow when they come to a city for an event? Because sometimes, like, I see people come, like, from wherever they come from, they come down here for Bike Week, and they wild the fuck out.
Oh, yeah, dude.
And it's like, did you come here to wild out, or do you ride a bike like that all year long? Because they do some dumb shit. Please, like, explain to me, what do you think proper etiquette should be when they come to a place? Like, say they come to Bike Week, like, what's proper etiquette for a bike?
It's going to be hard for proper etiquette because, man, a lot of these people live up north, man. It's snowing. It's cold. You know, their bike's been down for 4 months, 3-4 months locked up. And they get down here, man, and it's like opening a can of whoop-ass. They're ready to go. They're ready to just tear it up. And trust me, I hear it all night long, man. Rah, rah, rah. People doing burnouts, raising. You start hearing it at 4:30 in the morning. They're back up and at it again. And it's like, I laugh about it a little bit, but I mean, you know, these dudes, I mean, I can't bitch because I used to do it.
But it's crazy, though. Like,
because you just want to get down here and pull the trigger, man.
But the amount of alcohol that's consumed during Bike Week, and then these guys are out there riding. Like, I don't want to sound like the guy, but it's when I hear, like, somebody's face planted or, you know, they've taken that long nap, it's kind of hard to sit there and feel bad for them when I see they're at these bars consuming way too much alcohol, and then getting on their bike trying to do burnouts or, you know, popping endos and wheelies and shit on the street.
That's been going on for decades, man. It's never going to end. But it's just the way...
But we had an issue like that just at Biketoberfest, remember? We were riding to the Speedway in the truck trying to go to the Harley to see the...
We almost hit 2 people.
We're trying to see the V-twin people, and we're just minding our own business. We didn't switch lanes or anything, and guy was in the turning lane and just said, fuck it, and then pulled right in front of the truck.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know about you, but Silverado versus Harley, I'm taking Silverado every time.
Like, I mean, a lot of it, man, people being around, people need to watch what's going on around them. No matter what, whether it's during Bike Week or any of it, you need to know your surroundings all the time you're on a bike because nobody is looking for you. And if you aren't, you'll be one of them people eating part of the pavement.
So when they pack clothes to come down, should they be cautious of certain clothes that they bring? Because, like, when we go to, like, certain bike spots and I see the no colors logos, like, at first, when I first moved up here and I saw that, I swear I thought it was a racist thing. Like, I thought it was like no colored people. And I was like, what the hell is this? Like, I didn't, again, because I'm not in that community to understand what it is. But what are colors? Explain to me what colors are.
Colors are basically MC clubs. You know, in MC clubs, there's so many different clubs out there, man, and I don't want to mention their names, man, because some get kind of... But that's what colors are, man. If they have MC, they're wearing a patch and rockers, you know, those are colors, man, and a lot of places don't like it because, you know, I mean, I'm cool with a lot of the clubs. There's a lot of clubs I'm really cool with, man. I mean, and I don't have a problem with it, but, you know, some of these business people do... And some other people, man, they get really intimidated by it. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, man, a lot of these dudes are just regular dudes like you and I, but they just have a group of brothers that they ride with. That's a brotherhood of being an MC. And I mean, everybody has, but that is just what they choose to do. And if people can accept that, because the big outlaw bikers and, you know, slinging dope and all that shit, that doesn't really happen much anymore.
Do you think Sons of Anarchy gives bikers a bad name sometimes?
Oh my God, dude.
like the way the imagination works. But it's funny because all those like groups that I see, there's usually not colors though. It's usually like vest or patches, like you said.
Yeah.
You know, but it's just very confusing. So like the first time biker that says, you know what, I finally want to make that trip down to Daytona for Bike Week, just like you did in '03, right? You built that bike, you came down here, you lived a dream for the
Yep.
first time. You know, like this guy that comes from Washington or North Dakota or wherever they come from, they come down here for the first time. They got to be prepared for this kind of stuff, right? Because it's a different look when you come to a bike event because of the mass gatherings. And I know we do it here in Daytona. Panama City has one. I think they do one in Tennessee.
Yep.
So what other kind of things should they be worried about? Like for a first time biker, like if I'm coming for a weekend, like is there anything I should do? Like
I mean, there's all kinds. The thing is, there's so much stuff going on down here, man. You pretty much, when you come down here, most of the people coming down here, they're coming down here because, like you said, they've been cooped up all winter. They want to go ride. Do your thing. You know, whatever. I mean, most of the guys that are doing club stuff, man, they're they're usually at their clubhouse doing their thing. You know, they have events. And I like I said, I know a lot of these dudes like that, man. They just kind of, they're in Bike Week, they kind of just do their own things, man. You know, they do a couple runs and stuff like that. You know, you don't bother them, they don't bother you. It's that simple. It's that simple. You don't bother them, they don't bother you. And that's the way it is. It's the way the club people are. Like I say, I know a lot of these dudes, and that's it. Now, if you go and start fucking with them, you're not going to like what's going to happen. Just, you mind your business, they mind theirs. It's that simple.
Don't mess with a big family.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? Especially families that roll deep.
Mm-hmm.
So if you could recommend 3 places to somebody visiting for Bike Week this year, what 3 places would you recommend for them?
Well, number one's got to be traditional chopper show.
Traditional chopper show is March 6th.
Yep, at Giuseppe Steel City Pizza.
Okay.
Um,
Last year was a big turnout
Huge.
and gave out a ton of awards.
oh, it's even bigger for this year.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of killer sponsors come on. We got a lot of cool stuff. We'll be showing everything on the podcast here of every bit of stuff that keeps coming in when we do, and we'll start unveiling all the stuff that we have.
Okay.
That's one thing. Honestly, you know, Jim's gonna like this one. You got to go to the Iron Horse, get steak tips. I mean, the steak tips from Iron Horse are.
I've been here 13 years and never had steak tips at the Iron Horse.
Oh man,
So
good.
okay.
So good.
So
good.
so Giuseppe's Pizza, March 6th for the traditional chopper show. You got to be there,
Yep.
right? Is there an after party?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Last Resort. We got Panic Station playing. Newsom Law came on. They're doing a VIP tent. And me and my buddy Dane just talked to Al, and we're going to do a burnout pit there.
What is a burnout pit? like is that like I'm thinking fire pit, but I'm assuming it has nothing to do with that.
No. So what's going to happen is we're going to pour a concrete pad and put some eye hooks in there, put some chain link fence around it. They're going to come in and just start pulling gears till you blow the damn tire off it.
People do that?
Oh yeah.
That seemed like such a waste. Like you would ruin the tire on your bike.
Well, you said people come down here and cut loose. Remember, you said,
Yeah,
let's cut loose.
but
See if they do it in a burnout pit, you ain't gonna get in trouble.
Okay. No. I'm not worried about the trouble, but what happens if you blow your tire like during Bike Week? Where do you get a new one from?
I know a guy.
You know, you always know a guy. All right, so one more place. We got Giuseppe's Pizza for the traditional chopper show. We got the Iron Horse, which is usually a staple.
Yeah, it is.
For any Bike Week.
Yeah.
Like I've been to the Iron Horse once or twice during Bike Weeks. It's crazy up there, and I don't know about you, but the other place I'm gonna say is probably Main Street.
Main Street's good. I mean, once you've done it though, I mean.
Yeah, I went to Main Street for a Biketoberfest, but it wasn't even about motorcycles. It was like everybody was just at bars getting drunk.
Party, yep.
And then you can't bring your helmet into a place because they look at it as a weapon. And then like we were leaving a bar and I seen a guy, and you could tell like people living above their means, right? He goes and gets the biggest, baddest Harley he can hold. Tries to walk out of his spot with his chick on the back. Drops the bike, hits 2 other bikes, knocks those bikes down, picks up his bike, and then rides off.
Oh no!
It's like that's an ass whooping. Like if you knock over somebody's bike, I think that's an ass whooping.
And see, that's the difference of what Main Street is now from what it was when I first started coming here. Main Street and Beach Street used to just crank, dude, and it was the scene, the chopper scene, was so cool. Like they had the Grease Monkey lot with Indian Larry and Fab Kevin and Billy Lang, and then you go down Main Street, so you hit Beach Street. There used to be a Buick dealership there. And dude, a bunch of other chopper dudes, man. It was just all laid out there. Then across the street, Jack Daniels was there. Jesse James was set up over there. And it just, man, back in the 2000s, man, Main Street and Beach Street was the shit. I mean, to me, it was badass. Now I go, plus I live here. It's like, yeah, okay, it's cool. But everybody comes here, man. They got to go because Main Street, you got to at least take a ride down it just to say you did it. I mean, but yeah, I get that, but...
You think it's lost a little of its edge over the years?
Dude, I'm telling you, back then was awesome.
That's crazy. I wish I could have saw it 20 years ago, but I was still a baby. All right, so I'm young.
Okay, all right, I'll just make sure.
All right, so that gives us some things like definitely if you're in Daytona Beach during Bike Week, definitely check out the Traditional Chopper Show, March 6th. It's a Wednesday, right? I'll be there selling T-shirts, so come buy a T-shirt from me.
And we'll be going podcast live there.
Hey, we could do a podcast live there. We'll be doing interviews. We're going to be doing testimonials, about how the show was. We got the after party at the Last Resort. And if you don't know the Last Resort, because I didn't know the Last Resort, that's the place where that chick was killing all them dudes.
Hey, tell them how badass.
World famous Last Resort. Panic Attack.
Cold beer and killer women.
Definitely killer women. Killers.
Panic Station.
Station.
Tell them how good these kids are.
They're good. They're good enough to get you shut down during an event. So give the kids their credit where credit's due, right?
Yeah, we had a big shop party last year, and it was a blow up, man. They come, set a tent, and everything up. We didn't make it an hour, man. The whole city was there. They're frying fines and everything. They were going to come down and raid my garage.
You're a successful band when you get the place shut down in an hour, right? And there wasn't even no mosh pits or anything like that. Like just good music, good atmosphere. Just don't eat the hot dogs. The only thing I can tell you is don't eat the hot dogs from Last Resort.
Ooh.
All right, so I think that's it. I think that's all we got for the first episode. You want to shout out anybody?
Well, I want to run a couple things down, man, to some people that we're going to be bringing on. Jesse Serpan from Iron. We're going to be having him on one of these podcasts. Chris from Doomtown. Kurt from Bare Bones. Like I said earlier, Jeff from V-Twin Visionary. We got a big announcement that we have going on with him, our Tennessee show. Bring Derek from Extra Creepy on about the Motor City Get Down show.
Extra Creepy?
Extra Creepy.
What is Extra Creepy?
Look him up on Instagram.
I'm going to have to.
And Bill Danforth, who is involved with that as well. We'll be talking more about Bike Week, be showing you guys the products, some of the stuff we got, some of the giveaway stuff. We're going to bring my dude Bill from Speed Mill in. Obviously, Englishman, my editor, we're going to bring him in and chop it up with him, along with Debbie Fitch, my photographer. We're going to have some fun, man. And there's going to be some other people we're going to grab here and there. Some people that's ran in the magazine. And, yeah, man, we're going to have fun with this thing. And it's going to be cool.
We definitely want some chopper riders.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to hear some funny stories. Because I think there's way funnier stories than getting drunk and throwing up on the beer.
You wait. Well, you wait. When we get Bill from Speed Mill in here, he's the best storyteller ever.
Those are the stories I want to hear. Like
you've seen Bill get drunk.
So anybody else? Like I know we definitely want to shout out Twisted Tea, right? Twisted Tea has always supported Traditional Chopper from the beginning. Big sponsor for last year's Giuseppe show.
JoJo from Giuseppe's.
Giuseppe's is a big sponsor.
Yep.
Great pizza, probably the best pizza in Port Orange, Florida. So if you when you're down here for Bike Week, as you're riding your bike and you're drinking your Twisted Tea, stop by Giuseppe's and get a slice. If you don't eat pizza, get something else. All the food there is kicking.
And also the cool thing with JoJo is a straight up chopper dude. He is in the scene all in all too. Yeah. He's not just the pizza slinger.
Hey. We need to get him on the show.
Oh, we are. We're gonna bring him in definitely for sure.
You know, I remember Giuseppe's when I first got here. That little spot that it was in. Now it's big.
There's
you
a
know?
funny story. First time I brought my dad down here, and I took him to Giuseppe's, and I talked to JoJo, man. Me and my dad, back when we lived in Detroit, we used to get a BLT pizza every Friday at his body shop. That was our thing, man. So I said to JoJo, I'm like, hey, dude, do you think you make this BLT pizza? He's like, oh, man, I think I can figure it out. So my dad comes down here. I said, come on, Dad, we're going to get a BLT pizza. He goes, is it going to be good? I'm like, yes, we got it. I'll never forget, JoJo made, he comes out and everything. He isn't. My dad takes one. He goes, oh, man, that boy's got it down, don't he?
So definitely look them up. And that's it.
Yeah.
Right. So if you need any of the magazines, again, issue 1 through 4 out now. Check them out. Instagram, Traditional Chopper, traditionalchoppermagazine.com. We can get them out to you. There's a holiday special running, right?
Holiday special, yep. 4 magazines with shipping for $50. First 4 issues. They have been selling hot, hot, hot. I'm going to run them for a little bit longer before I pull it. And then our March issue will be out probably the first day of March.
There you go.
We should be good.
And I know the first issue super limited. Get them while they're hot because again, like when you look at these magazines and you see these centerfolds in the middle, you know it could be your bike next.
Yep. Yeah.
You
And
know?
anybody out there, man, if you see this, you got a cool bike, you know, that fits the lines of what we run in the magazines. You know, please submit them, send them. You know, we're down.
Definitely no boosters. Sorry.
Ugh,
Is that how we're gonna end the show?
I guess so. No,
Choppers up, boosters down.
Yeah.
Right? Choppers up, boosters down.
Down.
And we'll hit you guys next time.
All right. Thank you.